Kane and Arvidsson are on Frank's trade targets board. Kane debuting in the 6th spot.
Congrats.
More likely than not, obviously, I think that Evander Kane's going to be in a new uniform next year.
Yeah.
What's interesting is when you look at the Marchment deal, it feels like there's actually going to be maybe a market potentially for a guy like Evander Kane.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about that with our boy Matt Larkin in a second.
And there should be. He can play. He's obviously just got a bit of attitude to him.
And like, if there was ever a time where Evander Kane is going to be on his best behavior, it is going into a contract year where he is, again, if he acts up his NHL and plays bad, his NHL career might be done. Or he's going to be taking...
money is for sure,
Yeah. So,
I mean, he had a good playoffs until Game 3 of the Stanley Cup final.
Then it was very, very...
And then it just fell off a cliff.
Totally.
But 12 points from a guy who's in the middle 6, all 5-on-5 scoring, I would assume. Not terrible.
Not terrible. But just not $5 million.
Not $5 million, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But,
Jonathan Willis with a good one. Kane and Marchment. Kane outproduces him actually and outscores him quite significantly. The cap hits are pretty similar. Kane has more injury history. Partial no trade clause reduces. I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe got a 2nd-round pick, but I might be a little biased in saying that. So on that note, let's go to the Star Mechanical guest line. It's Edmonton's #1 plumbing and heating company. You can find out more.
What do you make of Evander Kane, number 6 on the trade targets list today by Frank? What do you make of his market? And do you think it could be something similar to what Dallas got for Mason Marchment?
I think that Marchment is perceived to have more upside. He's also quite a bit younger. There aren't the same potential dressing room headaches as well. So I don't think Kane would fetch as much, especially because from a leverage perspective, I think it's perceived as doing the Oilers a favor to take him right now, even though he was effective in spurts in the playoffs. I think we all understand who Kane is at this stage of his career and what the pros and cons are. In terms of who could be the market, the good news is because he's entering the final year of his deal, that opens up a lot more possibilities. You could have a team that isn't a contender offer to take him on, and maybe he's someone you can flip at the trade deadline to someone who needs sandpaper. And if he were to go to a contender, to me, it's always a delicate exercise with Evander Kane because you have to be sure that he's going to fit into your dressing room culture and not disrupt things. So he'd need to go to a strong room that already has winners. So an example would be like if they can make the money work, the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's a team that could use Evander Kane because the Panthers are so tough. Someone that could help them stand up to the Panthers and who would be joining a room full of winners and experienced people. I think he could jive well in that type of environment. I know the cap for Tampa wouldn't necessarily work, but that's just an example. Colorado, teams like that, they're capped out, but just teams that have winners, guys with Stanley Cup rings, and he can be more of a support player coming in as opposed to someone who rocks the boat. And we know, as you guys implied as well, Evander Kane, it's always sunny at the beginning. He comes in, every team he's ever played for, it's always a strong start when he joins, and he has the novelty and he hasn't worn out his welcome. So, especially on a 1-year deal, I don't think it's a massive concern, the fit.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.